Hi there, and welcome to Honeybee U Tarot. My name is Melissa. Welcome to Cards and Coffee, where we are currently dialoguing with the Major Arcana, and today we are dialoguing specifically with the Justice card. Anything that you need to know about this reading or about working with me will be linked in the description box below. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get started. So what is the highest use collectively of this energy? Okay, so we've got the King of Cups with the Seven of Cups. King of Cups with the Seven of Cups. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so in the words I'm using here that are shown on the 5-cent tarot, we have, on the King of Cups, we have compassion, diplomacy, balance, okay? So that's in the highest sort of realms, right? The highest energy. Compassion, diplomacy, and balance. I mean, this card does present smack dab in the middle of the tarot deck, okay? And you can see that we have the balance here, okay? And then we also have the Seven of Cups, which the words listed here are possibilities, wishful thinking, and choices. Possibilities, wishful thinking, and choices. Okay, so highest manifestation, at least according to today's dialogue, is we see the Justice card as an indicator that we live out the consequences of the choices that we make. They just are what they are. We also live out our future based on the choices that we make in the present. And so we want to be really clear that we are using the wisdom that we have gained from our past in order to be able to make choices that are based in our experiences and our wisdom very intentionally to create the future that we want to. And we have to reflect back on our past also with compassion, because at some points in our lives, we may be operating out of a less wise, insightful place. We kind of are just operating on autopilot, if you will. And sometimes when we get to that place of more experience and wisdom, we look back and think, and we act harshly or, criticize ourselves for our past choices. But that's not helpful. That just can keep us locked in shame, and also potentially locked in feeling as though we are a victim. And so if we can look back instead with compassion for ourselves, and even towards others, and just, face the facts that, yes, I did make choices, as life presented itself, I made certain choices from where I was, but here I am now, and I can make a different choice. If I'm actively intentional, right? I'm choosing to be more intentional with my choices because I've gained some wisdom, then I'm doing the best that I can, right? At the same time, when I'm wiser, when I have more knowledge based in experience, it's on me. It's on me to take those action steps that are not only in my highest, wisest, most beneficial good, but in the collectives, like for my community, for my world, for my soul path, for, you know, all kinds of reasons, right? So yeah, we want to be open to the idea that we do get presented with possibilities, options, choices in our lives. But it's on us to take responsibility for the choices that we do make, right? With compassion, okay? With compassion. And at the bottom of the deck, we have Temperance, okay? We have the last card in this second line showing up, which is patience, balance, okay? That word balance again. We're looking at the second line, which is all about the unconscious, okay? And it takes a second. It takes a second for us to decide, like, yeah, I'll be brave enough to go there and look there and understand that there's deeper forces working on me, working, driving me. And if I want to make my life purposeful and meaningful and intentional, then I'm going to have to, we start off with the strength card. I'm going to have to be open and humble enough to look at these things and to start integrating, making peace with however you want to say it. And then this would be the final card, the Temperance card. Of the last line. So that's the highest manifestation. Oh God, I was just going to change it again. Currently, okay. And how about the lowest collectively? What do we need to know about the lowest manifestation right now collectively? We have the 10 of Buttons. Okay. That's the same as the 10 of Pentacles, which for me is all about legacy. We have the 2 of Cups. Okay, you all know what the 2 of Cups is. That is about partnership. It is about being able to offer and to receive, using the masculine and the feminine energies within us to come into partnership, or at least to begin that process. And then we have family bliss, 10 of Cups. Wow! Interesting. Okay. 10 of Cups. So, upright, if we were looking at like the highest, right, we would be looking at these cards more in their upright position. We've got family bliss here. We've got, we've got share the wealth. I'm just going to read you the words. Share the wealth, legacy, inheritance with the 10 of Buttons, which is 10 of Pentacles. For 2 of Cups, we've got partnership. We have connection. We have unity. And with the 10 of Cups, we have family bliss, harmony and well-being. Okay, if we look at them in the reverse, right, because remember, this is all about opportunities, choices that we make, okay, with the opportunities that life presents us with. In reverse, I'm going to have to switch these cards around. We have dissipation, financial loss, family feud, okay, with the pentacles or buttons. We have distrust, imbalance, and tension. And we have dysfunction, disharmony, and separation. Okay. Let me leave these here for a second. 10 of Pentacles, 2 of Cups, and 10 of Cups. Yeah, I feel like there is an unwillingness to take responsibility for one's own growth, for one's own legacy, for we have the 4 of Cups here at the bottom of the deck. So we have apathy, disillusion, motivation. Yeah, it's like we can become a victim, right? We can become someone who is out of balance, maybe often feeling like life is happening to me, oh poor, oh woe is me. It can also be about, quite honest, when you see this card, it can be an indicator of legal issues, potentially divorce, right? A lot of times if we're doing readings, we will be looking at that. There's a sword here, right? There's a sword here that Justice carries, and it's double-edged. So it's kind of like we're free to perceive life, to perceive our own personal life, but also life in general, however we want to, because life is just what it is. So we have the choice, and when we have certain perceptions, or we make a choice to perceive things in a certain way, then we're more likely to act in that, based out of that perception. So, where we could be compassionate with ourselves, with family, our community, whatever, if we're lacking in compassion for ourselves, or we're being, judgmental or legalistic or whatever you want to call it towards ourselves, we're definitely going to be that way towards others, leading to disharmony, a sense of separation, disempowerment even, right? And certainly dysfunction. We're not going to be living in balance. We're going to be living in avoidance. Okay. All right, let's look at let's look at these questions based on what came up here. As you review the course of your life, how happy are you with the outcomes of the choices you have made? What can you do moving forward that will allow you to make better choices? I feel like that's similar to yesterday's. but I do like that question. Let's go with that one. As I review the course of your life, how happy are you? Yeah, no, not for. I like this question. This would be a great question to use for your own personal reflection. I think I'm going to go back up to this. How is guilt impacting your life, and what might you do in order to release that guilt? Okay, I'm going to add guilt or shame. Okay, how is guilt or shame impacting your life? How is guilt or shame impacting your life? Or maybe I should say, how does it impact our life? All of our lives. We'll see. Okay. How does guilt or shame impact our lives? Well, there we go. And there we go. Is that it? Let me just double check. Okay, so 8 of Cups. In this particular deck, I always see this person in some sense, some state of remorse for a choice that he made in order to move towards something more fulfilling. At the same time, I see him other times as really feeling a deep agony, kind of wringing of the hands. He's almost doing something that's kind of common, when you're kind of in an abreaction. When you're feeling like super stressed, and it can be, the stress can be coming from, wanting to move in a certain direction, but feeling overwhelmed with anxiety, maybe based out of trauma. Anyway, that he's struggling to take the moves necessary, right? To me, either way, guilt and shame, I did something wrong or I am wrong, will keep us from moving forward. He's not moving forward like in the Rider-Waite deck. In the Rider-Waite deck, we see the image, walking towards something. And here he's sitting down, he's looking, it's very reminiscent of like the 5 of Cups, where the cups are spilled over, and he's just so focused on what was lost, what's been lost. Okay, and then we also have the Prince of Swords here. So the Prince of Swords would be a lot like the Knight of Swords. That kind of, and interesting, look at this. He has his sword, right? The double-edged sword pointed straight up. So there is a sense for me whenever I see that there is only one truth to this person, and it's their truth. There's kind of I'm right. There's kind of a rigidity to their thinking process. And while they may be someone who can grow in their wisdom, I do believe this to be true. They're not there yet. The hawk is over his shoulder. Right? For me, hawks always represent keen vision and a higher perspective. So the hawk is like behind him. It's kind of like waiting. I almost kind of see the hawk like waiting to hop up on his shoulder and whisper some higher perspectives in his ear. But yeah. So how does how is guilt or shame impacting your life? Right. It can keep you from moving forward, from, making choices that are right for you. It can make you very judgmental, defensive, self-righteous, potentially on the outside, while on the inside feeling very insecure about ourselves. Because like I said earlier on, if we're judging ourselves and being critical of ourselves, we're definitely going to be that way, outwardly. Okay. And what might you do in order to release that guilt? So what can be done, or what might be done in order to release guilt and shame? What might be done in order to release guilt and shame, dear Justice? What might be done in order to release guilt and shame? Death card at the bottom of the deck. Scorpio. Oh, I took a lot of cards here. All right, well, we got our recurring little theme here. We got two princes, and we have two sixes. Our recurring theme, for those who haven't seen the rest of the series, just this past week in particular, we've been getting recurring numbers or recurring cards. So we have the Six of Wands. Okay. We have Judgment. Excellent. We have the Six of Pentacles. And now we have the Prince of Wands. Okay? Air energy here in the Prince of Swords. Air energy would be, kind of that mental energy, verbal energy. Opposite the Prince of Wands, which is our fire energy, and it's, taking action, life force, passion. Okay, so we have Six of Wands. What could we do? For the Six of Wands, look, we've got the lion, that courage, strength card, lion image here. Think more expansively, think more, recognize, maybe there have been some, mistakes made, or maybe there have been some, lessons that needed to be learned. However, there certainly have been successes. We all achieve successes, and we can look back and say, okay, like I can build on what I've learned, the struggles that I've been through how I've come through stronger, wiser, knowing more about myself. I can call that, you know, a victory, while remaining, you know, humble that there's more to learn. There's more that I have to do. It's like, again, it's like staying in balance, you know, understanding that, okay, you know, we don't have to be in such extremes, right? Of win, lose, you know, light, dark, good, bad, love, hate. Okay. The Judgment card, yeah. So I can rise up if there were areas in my life where I recognize that you know, those choices, those action steps that I took, they weren't healthy, they weren't in my highest self, whether I knew or I didn't know. I can now make another choice. I can have another opportunity for rising up again, right? I continue on my path. I continue to learn. I continue to seek. I continue to do the work necessary, right? Okay. Give myself a break. Okay. Six of Pentacles. For me, he is, in this particular deck, he is the chalice. His shape, you know, he is receiving well, he's receiving abundance, but he's receiving all of the things, you know, it can be money. It can be, you know, this, we looked at the 10 of Pentacles here. I can give and receive freely. I can give and receive freely for myself. Therefore, I can give and on to others. Okay? It's really just all about compassion, I feel. And Prince of Wands. And because I can be compassionate with myself, I allow myself to think more expansively, to dream, to move towards, to go after, you know, what I want courageously, with did I say courageously? Yeah. I mean, the Prince of Wands here is Leo. Courageously, confidently, and expect success. Any way you slice it. Success in what? Yeah, that's kind of like what we have to figure out. What's our priority? What is our purpose? What is our why? What is our legacy? You know, again, the prince is not a queen. The prince is not a king. The prince is going forth new, right? Taking those steps. You know, doing so after, you know, maybe a second chance, maybe a third chance, maybe a fourth chance, but, you know, after coming to, you know, having that recognition or realization of, where I have power and where I don't, and, what have I learned? What have I learned about myself? What have I learned about life? Coming into balance and understanding where I have control and where I do not. Okay. And it's been a really dreary, rainy day here today. I'm like tired. Some people love the rainy days. Not me. Okay, final message. Okay, we got Squirrel Spirit at the bottom of the deck in the protection position. Believe in yourself. Okay. And we got Rabbit Spirit. Now is a lucky time. I was just looking at Rabbit. I don't know. Okay, now is a lucky time. That also was in protection position. The potential is there, right? Go back to yesterday's Wheel of Fortune and getting those 3 7s. I'm not kidding. It's like we've got some really amazing energy in the air right now. It's what are we going to do with it, right? But okay, so we got 49. Vulnerability is required of you now, even if you don't feel safe. Act as if you trust that you will be okay, and soon you will see that you are okay. To create is to take risks. So at this fortunate, fertile time, banish your fears and recognize the real security is in immersing yourself in the process of co-creation, right? It's okay to admit that you really don't know how to deal with whatever is in front of you. This is where curiosity and not knowing can be a wonderful state of mind. Be playful now, admitting you are at the beginning of something. Exactly. Be playful now, admitting you are at the beginning of something. Come on out to frolic in the sun's nurturing light, because it is a time to birth something new. There you go. Okay, I hope that was helpful, enlightening. Drop me a like or a little newt. I am going to discontinue doing the premiere where I'm available for the chat, but these readings will, with the Major Arcana, will still be posted daily at 9 a.m. Okay, so with that, I wish you a great weekend, and I so appreciate you being here, coming across my channel, and be well.